Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
It's officially our season.
Ugh. Pumpkins, you know?
The amount of times I've been promoted on TikTok to be like, you should go see what real Halloween Town looks like. And it's like, shut up. I grew up there. Like,
yeah.
You don't even know.
My culture is not your costume.
No, literally. Shut up.
I was born here. I was made here. I was formed and forged here.
Don't try to advertise this to me. Shut up. 11 months out of the year, nobody even knows what St. Helens is. Shut up. Don't try to bring nostalgia into this.
Yeah.
Nobody even knows what that place is. So disrespectful. It's spooky season. It's the first month of Bella's depression, so we're here.
Yes, right. The spiral is happening. We are spinning around in a chair as time passes around us.
If only it was as aesthetically pleasing, fall, and all of those parts, but alas. We will channel that Twilight aesthetic regardless. How are you?
I am here. I wish it felt more like fall here, but yeah. I'm willing to wait for love, you know, and beauty in my heart, and that's okay.
Sure.
I gotta talk about Megalopolis, dude. I'm sorry.
I wish you would.
I'm sorry.
I wish you would, because I don't even know, man.
I must. Similar to how much Francis Ford Coppola thinks about the Roman Empire, that is how I am thinking about this fucking movie.
Okay. I know nothing.
And that's good. You shouldn't.
Okay.
And even if I tried truly to describe it wouldn't help. I don't think. It would just.
Sure.
It's one of those experiences. It's one of those vibes.
Oh no.
But it is hilarious and beautiful.
Is it supposed to be funny?
Yes, I think so. I think it is very intentionally it's very goofy. You know? It's pretty intentionally goofy. Though also being about capital B big themes or whatever. And, you know, which is good. And Adam Driver has some line deliveries in this that truly shoot me to the moon. He knows exactly what movie he's in, and it's beautiful.
Good. I'm proud of him.
What I love about this is that, I was worried that, I would come and see it and be like, oh man, I'm a film bro because I love this. You know what I mean? Of being
yeah,
old dude who's made very important and famous movies makes another one, and it's just it's that kind of movie, right? It's not, and now people are watching it, and a lot of these film bros are like, what was that? And I'm like, I won because I get it. I'm here, you know, I outsmarted you. And you're just not letting whimsy and characters named WoW Platinum into your life. And I think that's sad, you know? I think it's sad that you can't do that.
I thought it was a film bro movie. So you're actually making me more excited that it's not.
It's for sure not. You can tell it is very much, hey, I've been grappling with my legacy, and I'm gonna spend $120 million of my own money because nobody wants to make this movie. And just make something so different or weird or trying to be what is the future, right? Or what is art as it exists long beyond us or whatever, and also make it fucking ridiculous in a beautiful and entertaining and incredible way. Right. It's also very visually alarming. There's a lot of people being oh yeah, this movie looks like this, right? And just putting their own memes to it. The only one that's actually accurate is the one that says this looks like Spy Kids, which is true. It for sure is true in several moments in this movie. It looks like Spy Kids.
Oh hell yes.
It's beautiful.
Well, if the film bros are upset and mad,
Yeah.
I do have good news for them, which is that I heard on the internet this morning that apparently BBC Sherlock is coming back. So just head on over there and wait.
Oh, God.
So if you're waiting for like real good
if
you're excited, if you're excited for real quality television that is really indicative that we are in fact in a recession, you're back, babe.
Yeah, recession core is so back for sure. That's cool. I love that. But yeah, I am obsessed with this in a way that is burrowed into my mind.
Everything that you've said about this makes me want to watch the movie, which is not what I was expecting to come out of this.
Yeah, I feel like you might hate it for sure, but I think it's worth experiencing. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. It's just so big. It's truly just so movie. It's so much movie. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I'm perplexed and fascinated by it. It's a ride, for sure.
I just was fully not expecting to come out of this being like, damn, maybe I should watch this movie. And now I might need to watch this movie.
Hell yeah.
Damn. All right. Okay.
Yeah. How are you doing, my friend?
It has taken everything in me not to tell you what my happy thing is this week.
Okay.
I have tried so hard not to text you between our recordings to tell you that I've been watching this. And the amount of restraint has been pushing my limits.
Okay.
So as you all know, because we needed it for our bonus Jonas, I got a month of the fucking HBO, Hulu, Disney, corporate nastiness that is, right? The Monopoly pack.
Yeah.
And you gave me a fantastic selection of stuff that I needed to watch. You know more than anyone how hard it is for me to watch new stuff. I love rewatching old stuff.
Absolutely.
It's a terrible trait of mine. So I've been trying to watch new stuff, and something that Hulu suggested, I was like, oh damn, I guess I've never actually seen this before, which is wild. My happy thing this week is I finally started watching the OC.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah.
It has taken everything in me, Cody, to not text you and be like,
yeah,
wait, hold on.
Right. It's all
this
here.
Is the
it's
show that led to, this was like the domino that led to Laguna Beach, that led to The Hill. Like, this fucking soap opera. I'm so deep in the paint right now.
Yeah.
I thought like, oh, I'll just put this on in the background. Like, it'll be super chill. I'm obsessed.
I'm so happy for you, first of all. 'Cause really you do see the foundations of all of our culture. Really
literally.
And like lay the groundwork here. And I think that's beautiful. Wow.
I fully thought for some reason that I had seen it, and what I had been mixing up in my mind is that I watched Summerland growing up. The one that Jesse McCartney was on and Taylor Lautner was on. Because it's the same show. It's not. It's not.
Yeah.
This is so much darker, and I'm obsessed with it because it gives me, I'm still in the first season. It's so Friday Night Lights. Like, it's...
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my god. I can't. I'm so in it. I can't believe that I mean, I do know why I have never seen it, but like, I can't believe I've never seen this. I understand now all of the references. The theme song kicks ass. And the reason why I started watching it was because motherfucking Adam Brody has been doing a press junket for that new Netflix show. And I was going to say,
it's a good time to get into Adam Brody fever.
Yeah, everyone has Adam Brody fever, and I've had a crush on him my whole life. And I was like, well, I don't have Netflix right now. So I'm just going to go watch those. And he's so hot.
Yeah, he's a cutie.
And he's been hot his whole life. But what I didn't realize is I guess I just didn't know anything about the show, and I was like, damn dog, I really relate to Ryan. What the fuck? Like, the show's so dark. I thought it was like, because they based Laguna Beach off of it, so I thought it was going to be like light and fluffy and chill, and it's not at all.
No.
But I am obsessed with it, and now I understand.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And it's not the one that Chad Michael Murray's on.
Yes.
That apparently was happening at the same time. So at some point I'll need to watch that one.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's amazing. And I can't believe there's only 4 seasons of it. So I'm going to run through it really fast, which sucks.
Yeah.
I've tried so hard not to text you about it because I was like, I'm dying. I'm actually dying.
This is such beautiful news. Yeah.
It means everything to me, but it was why I wanted to tell you about this first current event, because motherfucking Paul Wesley showed up in the middle of nowhere in one of those first episodes. And he's got a Glock.
He's got a clock, yeah. This is wild. He's everywhere.
And now I understand why they were like, I know exactly who's going to be Stefan. Because he plays a bad boy in the OC. Yeah. Oh my God. I know that everyone had this revelation 20 years ago. Shut up.
Right.
I'm
here now, okay?
I'm getting it now. Being able to see Dark Paul in this, I was like, oh, I understand the casting director so much more now. Like, they had their Rolodex.
Yeah.
They already had it. They knew. But also, it's really scary to see Paul Wesley with a gun. Like,
yeah, he should not.
Why does this white man know how to hold a gun? I don't like it.
No, it's not right.
Also, his name's Donnie, and I thought that was really scary. But Paul Wesley's really good at being bad, which is unfortunate, but also great for Hollywood. So thank you. I will continue to provide more OC updates as we move forward, because I imagine there will be God. Like, if Ian shows up, I'm gonna be shot into the sun. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. Oh
my goodness.
We have a piece of Nina news. Would you like to tell the class?
Absolutely. We have a little fun Nina Dobrev news in that she was asked whether or not she would ever return to vampire acting, if you will, playing a vampire on screen. And unlike Paul Wesley, who has said, no, never again, she's like, well, actually, there's one way that perhaps I could go back into that part of my life. And she says that it basically has to be like an Oscar baity kind of like high profile director, like a Spielberg or a Scorsese, which I think is beautiful, because imagine that collaboration, right? But also like I don't know if Spielberg has a vampire movie in him. I think Scorsese's got one in him, you know?
Oh,
like,
Scorsese
for
definitely
the road,
has one in him.
For sure he's got one in him, and I think that would be beautiful if there was just a little Nina Dobrev also a part of that.
Does she just want to be on Interview with the Vampire?
Right. I mean, like, I think if you're looking for the quality, right? And that's clearly what she's like, I don't want it to be like a CW type show, which fair, for sure.
Yeah, if you want to win an award, Nina.
Right. Like, if you want to get in there, could be.
I know that it seems like you want to do a film rather than a movie.
Yeah. Right.
But if you want budget and you want quality, can I introduce you to an AMC project that you might like?
I think, she would tear so hard in that too.
Oh my God. Can you let her be bad?
She would tear.
She'd be so good, man. Just let her be bad. We already know that she can do multiple timelines. We know that she fits well in the past and the present. Just let her cook.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Nina, broaden your perspective that, like, you were on a bad network that didn't respect you.
Right.
Not all networks, you know what I mean?
Hashtag not all networks.
And I'm not saying that the film industry is good now.
Right. Yeah, we did not fix a lot of problems.
There's still a lot of like long-standing problems from what I understand. However, if you wanted to be in a vampire project that would have kind of what you're looking for, they'd swoop you. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I needed the recap desperately this week. I don't know why, but I needed it, so I was very grateful for it. I somehow forgot in the past week that we just had a really sad episode. I think I must have just left it in my mind.
It's quite sad.
But the most important things to remember from last week is that necklace didn't get destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And the runes in the cave are really important.
Yeah.
And the other thing to know is that Tyler's still gone. And Jeremy's...
Yeah.
We don't know where Jeremy is. Jeremy's processing stuff. He's not in this episode. He's handling loss, from what we know. But it's mainly the runes that somehow have kickstarted Rick out of his depression. And he's back at it. I did not realize when I had pulled the clip, like the photo from this episode, that it was a really traumatic moment. And now...
Yeah.
So that was my bad.
Oops.
Whoops. That sucks. I know that I had texted you after watching this last night that I was like, holy lordum. How did this episode do you?
Yes, it was heavy on the lore, for sure.
Yeah.
We got a lot of flashbacks, a lot of monologuing, the usual.
Right.
I think Rebecca is becoming a lot more interesting to me.
100%, yes.
As a character, which I was waiting for, outside of her just being vaguely British, I was like, leave me a little something, give me a little something to go off here. But the way this, like, sort of early world commune almost type thing, cult even, situation that lays out here is very interesting. And you can tell she clearly has a lot of, like, repressed, things about it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fun, because Elena's like, hey, girl, what if there's more to this? Or, like, what if you were, like, for sure traumatized? And she's like, no, I'm good. I'm so good. Don't worry about it. Normal relationship with my mom. Normal relationship with everything. I'm so sick and good. Don't worry about it. It's like, I don't know, girl.
I was not expecting... I guess I was just fully accepting the fact that Rebecca was just going to be, like, a flat character. Mm-hmm. And that the writers were going to do her dirty. And so to come out of this episode being like, damn, Rebecca, you are... One, they gave you a lot of lines this episode.
Yes.
So congrats on that. But also, you are now starting to come to the realization that this brother that you have that everyone has said is an asshole and is dangerous and evil and abusive has, in fact, not made you the exception to that is an interesting exploration of your character here that I'm looking forward to seeing more of. I think one of the only accurate things that the writers did with this lore was not put any indigenous people into Mystic Falls. Because the fact that I was like, they fully wiped them out, right? Like, they fully killed all of the indigenous people in this area.
Yeah.
That's the only thing accurate to, like, our history books, right?
Right. And, like, they're already playing fast and loose with stuff, right? Like, in ways that makes sense. Of being, like, her talking to Elena, and Elena's like, what do you mean you've been here for, like, 1,000 years? Like, we didn't even have... there was no settlement or any other things. Right. And she's like, haha, not in your history books. Which, like, yes, sure. But within that, we're already playing with, like, a little loosey-goosey, like, yeah, we were just chilling with vampires and werewolves, right? They're all white people. That feels a little untrue.
All white people.
That feels a little untrue. If we're already playing a little loosey-goosey with it, why, question mark. What? Like, what?
And they're specifically, Rick says this when he's doing his full, like, CSI breakdown.
Right.
Like, red string of the runes, which I love that for him. He's having a goddamn field day.
Yeah. Get him on Survivor, let him do puzzles.
Yes. He says it's specifically Viking script, because we notice in the past of the, what is their fucking last name? Michelson. This, like, original family, they look like Vikings. Like, it's a very European look that they have. So why the fuck how did you all get here 1,000 years ago?
Right.
That okay. So sure, let's just put this, okay, we're gonna already just throw out what we know about history. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. But then, so what we know about these caves now, because they're not the Lockwoods, Rick did clear that up, that, like, the Lockwoods didn't know that these caves really existed.
Yeah.
Because I had assumed that the reason why Damon couldn't get in was the werewolves were like, oh, and vampires can go fuck themselves. But now we know it was an original thing.
Yeah.
But I want to like the lore. I thought the lore was helpful. But you want me to believe that this community of people is where the first vampire, the first werewolf, the first hybrid, and also all the originals, I will say. The original vampire, werewolf, hybrid, and witch come from. In Virginia.
Like, hello?
Granted, that's what we call it now, but, like,
sure.
Hello?
Yeah. Does that
here
track for me?
Like 1,000 years ago, but specifically on the continent of North America.
Right.
I know we're playing fast and loose with history, but, like, witchcraft has been around a lot longer than that.
Yeah.
Even if we're saying, like, werewolves and vampires don't exist, so if we're going to pretend that, like, those are still cryptids, witchcraft exists. Like,
and has, like, historical
and has been around, like, for thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you mean that the original TM? And maybe they're saying that that's different than the first, right? Because Rebecca's mom is now the original witch, but there was a witch in that community, Aaaaaand.
Right. Yeah.
So they're trying to differentiate between original and first.
Yeah.
But, like,
you guys are just making up labels.
And again, very white thing to do, right? To be like, oh, completely. I'm the original now. But, like, a white woman, specifically what we're knowing as, like, a Viking woman is the first witch. I can't. I'm out of the episode. I can't pretend anymore, actually.
Yeah.
That's canonically not true, Rebecca. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Let's be serious, yeah.
And I know, like, we know from the rest of this episode that a lot of, at least one part of her understanding of her time there was not true, was a lie. But, girl, your mom was not the first boss babe. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to break it to you. And also, you want me to believe that 1,000 years ago, people were cool with your brother's name as Henry? Hello? A lot of these other names historically make a little bit more sense. Some of these are biblical.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh yeah, my brother's name was Brad.
Yeah, we got Greg here. Got Mark helping out.
It's just like, no wonder he died. He's ahistorical. Get him out of here.
He could not serve the time.
They thought he was a time traveler.
Yeah.
Hell, they thought he was a witch. They killed him.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, it's like, what kind of name is that? Yeah.
I was deep in the lore.
Yeah.
I was having fun.
That felt very, like, out of place, for sure.
Yeah. I was playing along with some of the other explanations that they were doing. Like, there were a couple of moments throughout that episode where they were, like, connecting the runes to the stories, and I think Damon had been like, oh yeah, Michael's name's up there. That's Papa Original. And I was like,
Yeah.
I love this. This is a good episode.
Also, can we talk about Michael's wig?
Okay, listen. The wigs in the flashback left a lot to be desired.
They left a lot to be desired, but also, I think you should keep it. I think you should rock it.
So Sebastian Raj with that wig, I will say, was hot. Unfortunately,
yeah, for sure, categorically hot. Yeah.
When he went and like almost killed Klaus, I was like, "Fucking do it, do it."
Yeah. I wish you would. Wish you would.
You'd save history a lot of problems. I wish you would do it right now.
Yeah. Everyone would be a lot happier in this friend group if you just did this 1,000 years ago.
Okay, so like he's the perfect casting for Klaus's dad in this. What stood out to me most about, because this is not the first time we've seen him, but this is the first that we've gotten, he's not just like laying down and not just has like one line. His time in Supernatural, he is a like witty comedic relief. So to see him in this, where he is supposed to be like, we thought Klaus was like the end all be all of evil, and it's like, oh no, I'm his father. Like,
right, yeah.
I'm Rage, you know what I mean? Like, he got it from me.
Where do you think he learned this from? From trauma from me. Yeah.
Was one, wild to see that kind of rage, but also I was very in it to finally understand, like, okay, Klaus, I know that you have a lot of trauma, because why the fuck are you why are you such a fascist? Like, why are you so deeply fucked up? And it's like, oh, your dad, got it. Like,
yep, there it is. Okay.
Now I understand. Having seen your parents, cool, got it. Okay. Thank you. Your dad's Zeus. Okay. Asked and answered. I know that he wasn't in it for more than like 2 lines, maybe, but I was so happy to see Elijah back.
Yeah.
I missed him.
Yeah. I missed him for sure. I was like, damn, we didn't know how good we had it when it was just Elijah causing problems.
And when we thought he was the scariest one of them.
Yeah.
And now he looks like rational in this family.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like a lost baby lamb. Yeah.
He's the only brunette now that Henry's gone. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
They call him Moral. It's like, okay, Elijah, you were the one that like burned people alive. Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
But no, I miss you. I miss you, Elijah. I'm sorry they put you in that fuck-ass wig.
Right.
They did you so dirty.
They did him dirty, for sure.
I would love to know your thoughts on... Because obviously, like, we saw it from Rebecca.
Yeah.
But it's not just Klaus having, like, dad issues. Mm-hmm. Very stereotypically, he's like, oh, my mom rejected me, so I'm a killer.
Yeah, what if I just murder her?
How did you feel about getting more context for him?
Yeah, there's a lot going on with this man. Yeah, it felt very interesting of seeing him in a light like that, where it's like, oh yes, like bound to, you know, certain feelings and emotions and reactions to things, and then, you know, acting out a little bit in dramatic ways. You know, but like getting sort of that picture of it, given kind of their whole situation of, it's definitely like, ooh, okay, bud, ouch, you know.
Especially because it's through Rebecca's eyes that we're seeing it being told to Elena, so it's more compassionate
Yes,
than I'm
for sure.
used to seeing and
Yeah.
thinking about Klaus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And because, like, she's very much in a state where she sees, like, they're like ride dogs, you know? They're like, there's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And in her mind, it's like, oh yeah, he's like kind of a dick, but like, not for me though. Like, we're on the same page and there'll never be like that sort of thing. And so I think there is like a different cadence to her memories of stuff, given her, you know, closeness and emotion towards him. And then how that kind of gets unraveled a little bit when, you know, Elena's like, girl, wake up. Like, this is probably the situation it is, and like her still like unwillingness to what's the word, like really come to terms with the fact that her memory might be flawed or built upon relationship dynamics that were kind of hidden in plain sight, or you know, in regards to her and their family, which yikes, ouch, you know.
And her life has been so fucked. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Getting to see the way that their dad changed them, and her explaining that not only were they offered that wine, but she's like, my dad wasn't, he didn't like pull any punches when he killed them.
Right.
So like nothing about her upbringing and then life moving forward since they've been running from him has been easy, and she's just had Klaus and Elijah, but like more recently just Klaus since Elijah split off. And I was really interested in the later part of that when Elena comes with the pictures of the runes, and she's like, hey girl, if these are lies, like you're saying it is, then why are you so upset?
Right. It's like, hey, it seems like this is kind of hitting home in a particular way. That might be worth exploring.
Yeah. And it sucks for her because it's like the only person that you have left that's alive and is connected to your family has kept you around because you're useful to him. Like he just woke you up. Like he killed you and then he woke you up because you're useful to him.
Right.
But also he's been lying to you this whole time. And she's trying to realize, like, damn, I'm a pawn. But also, like she said, right? Am I going to just be alone for eternity?
Right.
It's so fucked up.
Oof.
It reminded me of earlier in the episode when they were talking about why vampirism had supposedly just started in this community, and the Aaaaaand, that witch who had been in that community, had thought of it as a means of protection, but Elena's brain automatically went to thinking of it as a curse. And I was like, "Ooh, Elena, your brain's showing." And this is like, I feel like this might be the first time that Rebecca's actually thinking of it as a curse.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer.
Oof.
But also, girl.
Yeah. Girl,
get together.
Yeah. There was one funny Rebecca moment earlier in the episode where she's like, hey girly, hey Elena, hey, do you want to just like, I'm thinking of my homecoming dress, like which one looks best, and has this gaggle of her fellow cheerleaders fully compelled wearing, you know, like 7 different dresses for a fashion show. And Elena's like, this seems like a little much, right? Like that's kind of unnecessary. You know, that doesn't feel like you need to do that. She's like, bitch, tell me which one is the prettiest or I'll kill you then. And that was, it's like, okay, I see now, given your relationship with your father, how this might have slipped into how you behave. Interesting. Okay, word.
I love that moment too, because later on, I think Rebecca was like, oh yeah, and I got my rage from my father. And it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
But what stood out to me in that moment most was I was like, Rebecca, why are you inviting Elena into this house? Elena literally signed the deed to this house. Girl.
Right. God.
She can walk in wherever she wants. What the fuck was the point of that?
Yeah. It's like, that did nothing. Just across the board did nothing.
She's a human. She can walk in wherever she wants.
Yeah.
But I agree. I thought that was a really nice moment of levity that I appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of levity, I desperately need to know your thoughts about Stefan and Damon's bonding this episode.
At the family visiting hours at the Vampire Rehab. One of my favorite lines we've heard so far.
It was so... Damon's fucking lines this episode killed me.
Yeah, when he called him pasty and pouty, that was also really good.
Dude.
That was really good. Which, like, true, you know? He's right on that one.
There was a moment, too, right before Damon, like, cracked all of the chains off of Stefan, where Stefan was like, actually, this is my happy face. And he's full ass, like, has his red ringed eyes. And I was like, dude.
He's never looked more upset in his life. And he's like, I'm good.
Never looked worse.
Yeah.
His humanity is still turned off. And he's like, no, actually, I'm great.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm good. I look dead for sure, but like, don't. I'm really happy for sure. I love this because I think this whole like Lexi, let's just keep him locked up until he remembers and sees plan was a good idea. But also, it's been a minute, and it's like, hey, I don't think this is really doing what we're doing it for. And so naturally, right. Damon's like, fuck it, I'm going rogue. Like, let's get a drink, buddy, brother of mine, who I love.
Not only was it like a moment of levity in this episode, but what I loved most about it is that if you lingered on that scene for more than just a moment, all traces of levity disappeared, and it was deeply sad.
Oh, for sure.
And the fact that Stefan actually brought that up later in the episode, I really appreciated. Of him being like, you're worse than Elena. Like, I see through your bullshit so fast.
Yeah, you're not slick.
This is, like, what did you expect was going to happen here? And being able to have them talk at the end and Damon finally saying out loud, like, I owe you. All of this happened because of me.
Right. And I feel guilty that you're in this position.
Right.
And, like, the fact that even still, like, all of their, like, brother dynamics post Stefan becoming the Ripper or whatever have always been, like, tense, right, obviously. But there is this very, like, thick fog of just, like, what they want to say to each other but won't because they're, like, tough. Stuff. And it's usually Damon who kind of, like, has the vulnerability moments just because Stefan's kind of, his brain is a little smooth right now in terms of the emotional department.
He's just a gumball up there.
Yeah, he's got pinballs rattling in there that just say kill and eat, you know, keep this blood bank of a human alive. And so it's really interesting when, because Damon is incredibly emotional all the time. Even if he's like, I'm good, I'm tough, he reacts to things much more deeply than most. He explores his own, like, sadomasochism of himself and his, like, personhood more so than anyone here. He grapples with a lot of that. And for him to be like, yeah, dog, okay, I said it. I fucking feel bad. Like, I want this to just be over. And, like, I need to repay you a huge debt. And is that a crime? Goddamn. Fuck, dude, you're so annoying. And to have Stefan kind of still be stone cold about that information because he's a little smooth-brained right now, while also being like, brother, I didn't do this for you. Like, I did this for me, and if Klaus is dead and I am free, that means I can get the fuck out of here and do whatever I want. Which, oof, fuck, ouch.
One of the things that I greatly appreciate about Damon, for all of his faults and for him being an exposed nerve, is like, even after him saying that and getting that Stone Cold Steve Austin reaction, he, like, even after, he just needed to, like, deck Stefan once.
Totally.
Twice. And then he was done. He was like, I need to I need to express what I'm feeling, and then I'm done.
Right.
But the main difference between the two of them that I've appreciated throughout this show that they explore is like Stefan can't do that. He's all extremes, and right now we're in the extreme of gumball brain. Like he had to fully turn it off.
Yeah.
Granted, this one he didn't have any control over, but like he will is in the past just spilled over the edge. But yeah, that part where he just fucking decked him because he's getting no response at all, other than I think Stefan was like, your humanity showing.
Yeah, he's like, careful. Oof, yeah.
It was just so bad.
God, these two.
To have them have that interaction right after Michael had been like, come on, Stefan, tell me where Klaus is, or I'm gonna literally rip the heart out of Damon that I'm holding in my hand.
Right.
And he couldn't do it. Like,
yeah.
Stefan couldn't do it. It also, what an entrance for Michael, by the way. Like,
oh my God, yeah. Talk about just dramatic entrance. It's like, oh, you bitches thought you saw the last of me.
Damon, as usual, underestimating the originals, and Michael having to be like, I've literally been hunting vampires longer than you've been alive. How the fuck do you think I found you here?
Yeah. Like, when will these chocolate fucks learn, right? Like,
I guess never, right?
This is just going to be every time where there's someone that is more experienced and more powerful than them. And they're like, nah, we got it, right? It's like, what are you going to do? How are you going to find them? And it's like, how about you shut the fuck up? Because you don't know shit. And your sensors are barely even on. Ever. At any time. So,
I mean, if it goes the direction
useless.
that Supernatural goes, they're gonna run into God, like literally God.
Right.
And they're gonna be like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like,
yeah, I think we could take him, you know? I think we're good.
Like, I don't know. I guess you have the credentials, but like we have the street smarts, you know what I mean?
God, they're
it's
so
like,
annoying.
Fucking Christ, you know? Like,
yeah.
It is worth saying, because she had a small part in this. I was glad to see Bonnie this episode.
Yeah. And Rick trying to be like, hey man, I was a Jeremy too. You know, we're all bad at this. we grow up, it gets better.
I was so glad that he took a second out of his hyper focus to ask Bonnie if she was okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, when was the last time, if anyone asked her how she was doing? You know what
Seriously.
I mean? Like,
God.
And obviously she's not okay, but it's just the thought, like, it's just the thought that matters to me. The only other note that I thought was really important, just because we had so much Rebecca this episode, the amount of times that they went from the past and came back to a close-up of present-day Rebecca, and I got to see that fucking hair feather again, was honestly criminal. I should be entitled to compensation because it haunted me a lot.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it. And I know, just like I said last week, just because it was relevant in that time and it was accurate doesn't mean that it hurts me now. Like, it's still painful.
Yeah,
so.
I can still have a reaction to it.
Right. Hey, speaking of reactions, I need to know your thoughts the last, 5 minutes of this episode.
I want to jump out the window. You know? Is that fair?
I'm literally lying on the pavement right now.
Yeah, just run me over. You know what I mean? What the fuck is wrong with you people? Because I love this thing that Damon does, where he just, sits on Elena's bed. And when she comes home, she's like,
what the fuck?
Yeah, that's fucked up. He should have taken the shoes off, for sure. That's nasty. But I do love that that's just kind of his thing now, where he just wants to tell Elena something, and he's just waiting on her bed, and she's like, "Motherfucker, get out of here!" It's like, I'm trying.
She doesn't even have the energy today, which I thought was cute. She's just so tired, man.
She's so exhausted, and Damon's got this big ass smile on his face of being like, "You'll never believe what happened." I think we got Michael on our side, and everything's super groovy, and the plan is in motion. You said it wouldn't work, so take that. And she's like, all right, cool. You know, I got some good conversations with other folks. I'm feeling good. Now it's time for me to go to bed. And she tries to just like tuck the blanket and the covers, but Damon is fully on top of them and he is not moving. And she's like, you are exhausting, I hate you. And I love too that Damon's like, oh, I know you had like a whole speech of how you're mad at me for doing something that you didn't want, like taking Stefan out. I'm sorry, ha ha ha. And she's like, genuinely, I'm so tired, I don't even want to yell at you. It's fine. We're cool. I just want to go to bed. And he's still firmly on top of the covers. She's like, this is not going to work. Just moves the cover, or like opens up the half of the bed and then just like pops on in while he's still on top. And I wanted to put a gun in my mouth when I saw this interaction, because how dare you? How
it was
dare
like, at first, when he first started doing this, it was kind of like Gaston, you know, where he was like leaning against the door, and I was like, bitch, you need to move.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
now she just doesn't have the energy to fight it anymore, both because he keeps doing it, but also she's just literally like falling asleep standing up, you know?
Yeah.
Where she's like, I will fight you in the morning when I've had 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah, right. We will table this conversation, but it is coming.
Yeah, she's just like, I need to turn off this light. I'm literally so exhausted. I can't.
Yeah.
Whatever. But the pillow talk, Cody.
Dude.
Her turning to face him and him doing the same, I was like, I cannot handle this anymore.
Take me away. How dare you? Also, I thought it was really a gut punch when he was like, oh, how do you think Rebecca's like cool with us now or whatever, that kind of stuff. And she's like, I realize she's just a girl. It's like, damn.
Yeah. And then, as if it wasn't already bad enough for her to realize, like, and tell Damon, again, as she's, like, falling asleep, right? Of, like, I just want you to know that if Stefan does come back around on all of this, it's not going to be because of me. It's going to be because he loves you.
What if I just died?
And she's like, I'll tell you the rest of what happened tomorrow. I'm falling asleep. And she falls asleep and he's watching her. And not the way that Edward usually does it, but just in a like...
in the corner.
Yeah. Because it just like, she just closes her eyes and he's still there. Not like she's been asleep and Edward like creeps through the window. Mm-hmm. There's context here that's important. But him, he just like smirks. And I'm... what do you want me to do with this information? What... Hello? And now we have to go into next week, which the whole thing is that, like, Stefan is going to be bringing Klaus back to Mystic Falls. Mm. And it's titled Homecoming, which we knew, because Rebecca was picking out her homecoming dress. But I'm nervous now of what's going to happen. I'm so stressed out. All I will say is that when I was looking up fan fictions for today, a lot of them said post season 3 episode 9, which makes me very nervous about next week's episode. Because that's never a good sign.
Yeah, that is ominous.
So, yikes. We have some amazing patrons to thank. Would you like to start us off?
Absolutely. Thank you to Callista Lockwood.
Ooh, thank you to Sean Salvatore.
Ow. Thank you to Megan Pattinson.
Ooh, thank you to Katya Karp.
Ooh, thank you to Ashlyn Vogel.
Ooh, thank you to Genevieve Morgan.
Ow. Thank you to Danielle Burke.
Ooh, thank you to Janae Bennett.
Ooh. Thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Ooh, thank you to Dan Zeklos.
Ooh, thank you to Emily O'Sara.
Ooh, and last but certainly not least, thank you to Jaylene Iveshkov.
Pew, pew, pew.
I have a fanfiction for you that is written by Faith2727. It is titled No Tricks, Just Treats.
Okay.
And the summary is a fun, fluffy, Halloween-themed Damon Elena one-shot. Elena wants to embrace the spookiest day of the year, but Damon's having none of it. Can she change his mind? And there's only one chapter. This is from chapter 1. Elena heard the front door open and shut, followed almost immediately by the sound of a crystal tumbler being uncorked and generous amount of liquid being poured into a glass. Rough day, she called out as she started down the stairs. It was going great until I came home and noticed those things out front, he griped, pausing to down the glass of bourbon in one go. I'm guessing you brought them? I can't imagine Stefan stopping by the local pumpkin patch of his own free will. He's no Linus. Did you just... Never mind. She shook her head, trying to picture Damon parked in front of the television, watching a beloved children's holiday special. Yes, I bought the pumpkins. I thought it'd be fun to decorate and make it more festive around here instead of the usual doom, gloom, alcohol, and blood bags. Finishing his second glass, he slammed it down on the table, making the other bottles rattle. Oh, no, I happen to like those last two things very much. This place is only doom and gloomy when my brother's switch is stuck on brood. He walked toward her slowly, reminding her of a predator stalking his prey. He stopped a few inches from her, his mouth temptingly close to hers. Speaking of things I like very much, how about we forget about fake spiderwebs, plastic skeletons, and candy corn, and take this upstairs? My bed could use some decorating. End scene.
Oh my goodness.
I would like for you all to think about Stefan as Linus, please and thank you, because that image has not left my mind for the last hour since I read this.
Yeah.
And thinking about the Vampire Diaries characters as Peanuts characters is very important to me.
It is.
And I need that drawn post haste. Thank you. Well, friends, you have some movies and television to catch up on until next week. Please tell your friends about the show. I'm going to be deep on my OC grind. So I'm going to be stuck in fucking, 2004? Wherever there's a lot of puka shells. Until next week. And as we say here in the Pacific Northwest,
Get it.
ooh.
Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. You can follow us on Twitter at Into the Twilight or on TikTok at Into the Twilight Show. You can find me at Cody Corral on Twitter and Allie at Alexandria Does. And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Into the Twilight. We have merch, so much stuff. All those links are in the episode description. And make sure to rate and review us on your favorite podcast hosting platform. It really helps the show. Thanks. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media, audio for everyone.